and welcome to another Cigar guitar lesson. So we are continuing on the classic rock vein here. So this one is from slap bang in the middle of the 1980s, is of course Money for Nothing by Dire Straits from the 1985 album Brothers in Arms. Possibly in that category of one of the most recognisable riffs. You know, you've heard it once or twice and it just sticks, doesn't it? Great fun to play. This is actually the original key as well, so once you've learnt this you can jam along with the band themselves with the original recording. And I'd say it's probably a little bit more difficult than the previous Highway to Hell that we were looking at, but we're going to have a crack at a version which is slightly easier than what I just did here. We're going to be trying it with a flat pick first. Even though Mark Knopfler is of course famous for playing fingerstyle, we're going to play it with a pick just to make it more easy to start with, and then maybe I'll show you how to do the full sort of thumb and finger combined version. But without further ado, let's get straight on with learning the tune. Okay, so let's get tuned up. We have low G and middle D and high G. So like I was just saying, we're actually going to be doing a slightly easier version using a flat pick to start with. So there is a flat pick, and obviously if you want any tips on general flat pick playing and sort of general rock guitar playing, check out Sunshine of Your Love, which is a beginner level tune from a couple of years ago. So we're in the key of G, which is just the open strings, and they obviously form a G power chord, but we can also play a G power chord up here as well. So we're at fret 5 on the middle D string, fret 7 on the high G. So hopefully you can hear that's the same. We're going to be basing a lot of the riff around this. Now I was using my little finger, pinky finger for Americans, on fret 7 because I was finding it easier to shift up like that. However, you can use fingers 1 and 3 if you want. But what we're going to have to do quite early on is have a bar. So that's where you're holding down 2 strings at once, but not all, well, not all 3, but actually just 2 for the particular riff. So what's happening there is whichever finger you're using on fret 7, whether it's finger 3 or finger 4, then you need to be holding down fret 5 on the top 2 strings D and high G. And you go in from that fret 7 to, so I'm plucking through 2 strings at once here, so from that fret 7 and this fret 5 just to the bar itself. Okay, so that's a movement that you do quite a lot throughout this. This G power chord 3 times. I'm just mostly going to be plucking these top 2 strings. I'm not going to be playing this one too much until I show you the fingerstyle version. And then I go straight to the little bar at fret 5 across the top 2 strings, straight back on again. Okay, so if I'm using finger 3 here, I want to shift all the way up to fret 10 with finger 3 on the top string, and also add in fret 10 on the middle D. So this time I'm going to come across with my second finger, or if I'm using my little finger here, I'm going to shift up with my little finger and add my third one in on fret 10 of the middle D. So see which one works best for you. As soon as I've gone up to the middle fret 10 on the 2 strings, then I go back to that power chord. So same fingers, whichever ones you've chosen. And then it's from the 7 and 5 position power chord down to the bar at fret 5, and then that same finger 1 bar at fret 3, so just covering the D and the high G. So we've got and then down to the open. So that looks like this. 3 here, then bar, back to the power chord, up to fret 10, back to the power chord, just to the bar at fret 5, and then the bar at fret 3. And we stay down there. And then we play, so that's open G power chord. We play it twice, and then we do another bar at fret 3, and then straight off again, and then I'm just playing the middle string on its own afterwards. And then I'm going to do a full bar across all strings, all 3 strings at frets 3 and 5, and play fret 5 twice. And that's half of the riff. From the beginning, now to make it feel a little bit more kind of rhythmically correct, so you kind of get into the groove of it, using down and up picks is actually quite helpful here. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go down, 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 up, down, up. I'll do that again. Down, 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 up, down, up. And from this angle, it looks like this with the picking. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, then down, up, down, up. And then down, up at the end. So you've got, so fret 3 is a B flat, fret 5 is a C. So you do 1 B flat, and then you do 2 C's, and then it's B flat on a down, up, and then straight back into that high G. Okay, the second half of the riff is pretty similar. So whichever fingers you're choosing for the power chords, obviously stick with it throughout. We've got the 3 downs again, then we've got the bar on its own, back to the power chord, but then we keep strumming that for a bit longer. And then this time, instead of going up to fret 10, we go to fret 12. So again, whichever fingers you choose to use. I'm using 3 and 4, you can use 2 and 3 instead if you want. So there's the 3 downs, then bar. See, we've got the extra strums there. 2, 3, but then right up to fret 12, but then this time go back to finger 1 bar at 5, and then add in this extra note for the power chord again, and then back to fret 5 again. But then 2 at fret 3. So the ending of that riff is very, very similar to the first one, but whereas we were going up with a full finger bar across all 3 strings, so that was B flat up to C, right at the end we're going from this shape here, so it's fret 3 on the middle string, fret 5 on the low G. You've got to try and make sure that this is bridged round enough so you're not catching this string underneath, and that is going from, it's kind of F chord up to G. So this is a slightly different way. So if that's a G power chord, that's a bit more of a bassy version. So the final riff is okay, and so all of the riff from the very beginning sounds a bit like this. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the main introductory guitar riff, and it's something similar to that. When he starts singing, he kind of like tones it down a little bit, but you can play along, you can fit that along with the verse, which works pretty well. But then the chorus has some chords. So we have, these are all power chords. This is an E flat, so fret 1 on the middle string. I think probably finger 4 helps now. That is fret 3 on the high G, because we can also attempt to go for fret 3 on the low G, so we can get a 3-fingered power chord, 3-string power chord. And so that's E flat, and then we can go to what was the B flat from before, so that's just a full finger 1 bar across all the strings. And then we can go back to the E flat, so fret 1, fret 3 again. Watch your bridging here so that you're not catching that middle string. And then up to frets 3 and 5, same shape, knock it up 2 frets, and that's an F. And I'll probably do something like this with the strumming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to keep it dead simple. You go back into the main riff again and we do the first half of it. But this time go to C, which is fret 5, which is just the full finger bar across fret 5. So power chord, then go up to D, then to E, and then we've got an extra bar of E. So we can go for like half beat strums, downstrokes to give it a kind of rocky build. Okay, so finally, if you wanted to play fingerstyle, what I was doing is I'm still playing the main riff on the top 2 strings, but I'm keeping the thumb thumping away on the bass. And to get a bit of separation, I'm definitely palm muting this. Okay, and so I'm actually going to start with a thumb, and so it's double finger plucks for most of this. So I'm just plucking these 2 at the same time with index and middle. So it's thumb together, and so what the thumb is doing is staying on the beat. So if I just count the beats, it's 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So basically, if you've learnt the flat pick version and you've got your timing fairly solid, this is definitely not beginner level, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but if you can finger pick a little bit and you've learnt the flat pick version of this tune that we've just covered, then you can hopefully work it out. And essentially what's happening when your thumb is just thumping away on the beat, you are either playing with the thumb together or the fingers are playing in between, because we've got a lot of like half length notes, so we've got a lot of notes that sound twice as fast as the thumb. So it's thumb together, in between, together, in between, thumb together, in between, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and back to your thumb, 2, 3 and I'll just very quickly show you that riff from this angle. So we've got thumb together, in between, thumb together, together, in between, together, thumb together. Okay, so I hope that's fun to learn. Hope that lesson was useful for you, and I think it works particularly well in a GDG tuning, this tune, and whichever version you go for, either the flat pick or finger picking version, have fun with it, and we will be back soon in this very same tuning. And obviously don't forget that this is all part of the 6-string 1-pack but 4 tuning series. So we're obviously currently in GDG and we're going to stay here for a little bit longer, probably do some more classic rock again soon, and maybe a bit of a beginner blues just before we move on to the next set of 3 strings. So I will see you here again very soon on Coda Guitar.